In this video, we're going to look at how we find some really good unemployment data on the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So I'm at bls.gov, and if you bring your cursor over to Data Tools, instead of clicking on it to highlight the box, double click and it'll pull up the Data Tools, and you'll be able to scroll down and see inflation and prices, employment, and then next comes unemployment. So what we want to take a look at is we're going to look at right here where it says rates and levels. If we come down to the first one and then just come over to where it says top picks, we'll be able to find some really good data there. So we're going to go to top picks, and it's going to give us all the different statistics that it has on the labor force for the United States. Okay, so the thing that we want to check is we want this box right here for unemployment rate, because we want to compare the national average of unemployment rate, and then we're going to compare that to, or we're going to look at different subsectors of the economy. So let's look at men versus women. Let's look at whites, blacks, Latinos. Wait, is it not selecting everything? Hispanics and Latinos, and then let's bring in all the different education data that we have. So we can look at individuals with a high school diploma, some high school graduates, some college, and those with bachelor's degree. Okay, so once we've selected everything that we want, we can just scroll down to the bottom and select Retrieve Data. Okay, so while it's building up the databases, we can ask it to include the graphs and include the national average, which if we reformat it to do these things, it'll give us a visual picture of what's going on along with the data. So in this first one, this just simply is the overall national unemployment rate. Okay, so currently figures are accurate as of July of 2015. So the previous month of June, the unemployment rate was 5.3%. Okay, so if we scroll down some more, we'll be able to see that of men versus women. So if we look at the unemployment rate nationally for men at 4.8%, we can see that it's a little bit lower for men. Then obviously women are going to be a little bit higher than the national unemployment average. Actually, I'm sorry, since this is only looking at 20 years old and over, it's not necessarily going to be split. If we were just looking at the data that compares men to women, we would see that that those two obviously would have to equal 100, but since we could have more unemployment in the 16 to 19-year-old category, it could possibly skew the data so it doesn't add up to 100. All right, so now let's look at the unemployment rate for white males. Okay, or I'm sorry, this is all white individuals. It's 4.6 as of last month, so a little bit lower than the national average. If you look at that for Black or African Americans, it is 9.5. Not quite, but close to double the national average. If you look at that for Asians is 3.8. So not only is it less than the national average, it's less than that of whites. And the last one is the unemployment rate for Hispanic or Latinos, and that is at 6.6 last month. Okay, so now let's look at how education plays in. We can see how race plays in for our unemployment data. Let's see how education plays in. For those individuals with less than a high school diploma that are 25 and over, the unemployment rate for them is 8.2. So 2 full percentages almost above the national average. Okay, so we should see that that would be the highest category. For high school graduates without any college, we see that they're at 5.4%. So basically just slightly above the national average unemployment rate right now. And we see that those that have some college or an associate's degree have 4.2% unemployment currently, so below the national average. And then, of course, those with some sort of a college degree, a bachelor's degree, or higher, we see that their unemployment is less than half the national average. It's 2.5 instead of 5.3. So this data, hopefully, again, will help you guys want to finish your education, but it gives us a great starting point on how to compare unemployment rates across races, across education levels, across genders. And if you go back one page, you'll see that it has so many different things, oops, all the way back, has so many different things that you can look at. How long have people been unemployed? Um, you know, part-time, leaving for economic reasons, new entries into the labor force, people that are job losers or the job leavers, people that lost their job versus people that are leaving their job. All of these different things you can pull up and find a wealth of information through the Bureau of Labor Statistics.